My name is Dave Hardman. I work for IBM. I work for WebSphere. And specifically, I work with products such as WebSphere Application Server, WebSphere Virtual Enterprise, and IBM Workload Deployer, things that help our customers run their Java-based business applications. Well, one of the key things that customers are looking to do is to get more efficiency out of their application infrastructure. So that means, essentially doing more with less. And one of the key technologies to allow them to do that is virtualization. So virtualization is a key enabling technology for cloud as well. It's important to our clients that we support the key virtualization technologies out there, such as our ZVM, Power VM on the Power platform, and also on the Intel platform, VMware. And our virtualization management technologies we have for our application infrastructure do support those various technologies, and it's very important that that support exists. If you look at some of the competitive products that are available, they may only support their own flavor, their own in-house flavor of virtualization, which is really a very limiting stance to take. Another key point to make is it's very important that the software licensing understand virtualization and that the pricing for the software is virtualization friendly. So what I mean by that is if you look at a full system, for example, that may have 8 physical processors in there with multiple cores per each, but you may only be using a portion of that for your actual application. And of course, you'd only want to be charged for the software license for that specific portion you're using when you have virtualized like that. Not all vendors look at it that way. Some vendors look at it that they would charge you for the entire system even if you're only using a portion. So that's a very key thing to look at as you're trying to implement virtualization for application infrastructure. Another key thing to look at is not just server virtualization that's the key technology here. There's also application infrastructure virtualization, which is looking at the application server itself and being able to virtualize at that layer. And so products such as WebSphere Virtual Enterprise help to accomplish that. And then beyond that, being able to combine both application infrastructure virtualization together with server virtualization and manage the complete environment. Our IBM Workload Deployer product is an appliance which helps to manage that entire stack of virtualization to make it easier to deploy patterns of applications and do it out of the box very quickly. And it supports all the leading virtualization technologies, Power VM, VMware, for example. And it's available from IBM, and IBM is unique in being able to provide that capability. One example of a customer who's used this technology to get more efficiency and lower their costs is Cardinal Health. Cardinal Health had an aging infrastructure with some application servers from a competitor, and these were not virtualized systems, so they were very much underutilized as is typical in a non-virtualized environment. And what they did was they implemented WebSphere Virtual Enterprise, and at the same time they migrated their legacy applications over to this new infrastructure which was highly virtualized. And that allowed them to do a couple of things. One, it allowed them to cut down on the number of physical servers they needed, because previously they had servers for development, for test, for production, QA, a whole set of physical servers for each application they wanted to develop. And so their existing environment had become very complex, very highly underutilized, so expensive for what they were trying to do. By implementing Virtual Enterprise, they were able to use fewer hardware resources to do the same amount of work and get more efficiency. And they were also able to use the capabilities in WebSphere Virtual Enterprise to basically manage to service level agreements, something they weren't able to do before. It was a manual process before. And now they were able to automatically use the technology in WebSphere Virtual Enterprise to have it to basically prioritize applications. So their high revenue applications will get the highest priority, of course, and maybe something like an HR application may need to back off in a case where high traffic was coming into one of their high revenue applications. So WebSphere Virtual Enterprise could help them to manage those SLAs and achieve those SLAs in a very efficient, cost-effective manner. And they were able to get to avoid some of the higher costs associated with a competitive application server. If you'd like to find out more information about how you can get more efficiency and flexibility for your application infrastructure using virtualization and cloud, you can Google WebSphere Virtualization and Cloud, and it should take you right to our site where you can find white papers on the topic and demos and things like that. I'm Dave Hardman. I work for IBM WebSphere, And if you'd like to contact me, I can be reached on LinkedIn. Just search for my name, David Hardman. Thank you.